Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by 10th Man, Sleeping Warrior, Chocolate Saiyan, Paul, and a whole bunch of people on Discord. Very good to have you all.
Woohoo!
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, everyone in Discord. Hello, everyone on the panel. Any signs of Earth curvature?
Nil point.
No, not at all.
Nope.
Any signs of axial rotation?
Nope.
No.
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Nope.
Nope. All assumptions.
News meltdown. If you're not going to talk, we don't really need to listen to you tapping on your keyboard, my friend. Did we go through gravity? Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Nope.
Scientific evidence of what?
Gravity.
What's that?
Second time I'm going to ask you. News meltdown. Thank you.
No. The non-force force.
Any
Or in
evidence?
other words, not a force?
No, not a force. According to the current bullshit rhetoric.
There is evidence of acceleration towards center of mass.
Say again, sorry?
There is evidence towards acceleration towards the center of mass.
Right, what does that mean? Talk us through it.
When there are two things with mass, it is possible for them to accelerate towards each other at a constant.
I can't even hear you.
You're really low. He says when there are two objects of mass, there is a constant force between them. But turn your mic up, RC Meisty.
Yes, sir. I didn't say that there's a constant force between. I said that there can be measured a constant acceleration between centers of mass.
Constant acceleration.
Too
yes.
quiet. Can anyone else hear what he's saying? Just muttering into his really quiet mic, like we can have a conversation this way.
He's saying there's a constant acceleration.
Yeah, you don't need to repeat it, Spurs. That means I need to address a technical issue, not have a narrator from you. Can you sort out your mic so we can actually hear you properly?
Sorry, gentlemen. I'm going to try to do that.
Try rejoining, because you're breaking up.
Let's move on. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Yes.
No.
I heard yes.
That was Arwen.
Yeah, and then I said no.
Oh, okay. How disappointing.
See what I mean about Arwen backsliding, Nathan? He's becoming the contrarian again.
That wasn't backsliding, that was a joke.
No. Yeah, it was. But I presuppose a molten chocolate core
Molten chocolate?
for that. Yeah.
Yay.
Any evidence of the R value?
No.
No, not on Earth.
Yeah.
That's-
Nope.
Oh,
That's
there is an R value, but there's no radius of the Earth.
Right, they just presuppose it's spherical. Last but by no means least, any evidence that you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container?
Nope.
No.
That's a trick question.
Oh,
Go on, Spurs.
no.
Oh, no.
Not
Yeah,
that, not
well, that
today.
concludes the housekeeping
Not
then.
today, no.
Unless I'm going to get a moan from Arwin about it being a trick question.
What?
He said that's a trick question.
Yeah, but it is, isn't
I
it?
will,
Hello?
one thing I will say, and I could be wrong about this, is that one of the arguments that are on the table, and I'm just, not that it like changes anything, I'm just pointing it out, that that there's a lot of experiments being done with the electromagnetic forces attracting or creating a gas pressure force, basically like creating force around the gases, but the gases are ionized. But like they're saying that that's proof that you can have it without a container. But the problem is that like the gases are ionized. Like you have to manipulate the gases a certain way in order to get that effect. So like I'm just like but our atmosphere would be exempt from that. I just wanted to point that out.
Well, I think that's actually plasma, not gases. But I heard it. Yeah.
I also want to point out that there is a gas pressure gradient that we can measure here on Earth.
And?
Go back to the acceleration one point.
Hold on.
He's back now, Nathan.
Yeah, sure. And? I'd like to point out that we have chickens. So what's your point?
So that gas pressure gradient can go from what we experience as atmospheric pressure at sea level up to 0 eventually.
No, it can't.
Yeah.
That violates a law of nature. It can't dissipate to 0. If it was 0, no pressure, then the gas that was at higher pressure would want to disperse into that. So no, it doesn't dissipate
Which
to
law of
0.
nature would that be?
Now you're talking over me. It's a globe head affliction. I'm talking, therefore you need to be talking while I take apart your fundy assertion. No, mate. You can't have gas pressure not pressing on anything. If you're to claim that the outer void of your fundy religious belief in a sky vacuum is actually real, then you need to demonstrate that you can have gas up against a vacuum. You can't. It doesn't dissipate to nothing. That violates both Boyle's law and the second law of thermodynamics. So no, it does not do that. That's just your fundy belief.
Because you're an expert, you know.
The second law of thermodynamics does not state that you can.
I can't hear you. Look, you're really becoming irritating. If you can't be heard, like, clearly, and you're just muttering into some shit microphone, I'm not going to have this conversation with you. You've asserted gas pressure gradient. Which comes first? Gas pressure, i.e. it pressing on something, or a gas pressure gradient? Yeah? Absolutely. The gas pressure, i.e. it needs to press on something, will come first. The necessary antecedent being a container to press upon. PSI, per inch. Yeah? You don't have a per inch of a vacuum. So get your crappy mic sorted.
School these fools, Nathan.
Yeah, I will school these fools, Dawn. You're one of them.
So the second law of thermodynamics does not state that you cannot have a gas pressure next to a vacuum.
Just a muttering, stuttering crap mic. What part of that don't you get? We're not going to have a decent conversation when I can only hear every 5th word you say.
Well, I can translate. I managed to make that out.
I don't need a translator.
Sorry?
I don't want it translated. I don't want to hear this bonehead telling me that we can have gas pressure gradients dissipating to 0. No, we can't. Yeah? I'm not interested. If I'm going to have a conversation with you, number 1, I don't want him to talk over me while I'm mid-sentence, which he's just done. And number 2, I actually want to be able to hear what he says, which I can't. I've said it 4 times to him. But he thinks that means just carry on regardless, like it doesn't matter that he's got absolute shite equipment that we can't hear him on.
What's your evidence that the second law of thermodynamics...
Oi! We can't hear your crap microphone. Did I just say... Does that mean carry on regardless? Oh, just ignore the fact that I can't hear you properly and the audience can't hear you properly and you've got the most shit equipment possible. Just ignore that fact and carry on regardless, eh? Yeah, so you are going to just carry on regardless. You have got a crap mic. We can't hear you properly. I'm not going to boost your mic so everybody else is deafening just to level up your shit mic. Sort it out.
Maybe Don would like to pick up where that guy left off.
Yeah, come on, Dawn. How do you have gas
Okay.
pressure without a container?
Gravity, obviously.
Who's typing? Arwin, stick yourself on mute, bud.
I think it was Arwen.
It's a very special scenario on Earth. It's a very special scenario. It's not the same as a laboratory test.
Special about it.
Mentioned a laboratory
it's
test. What are you talking
special.
about? Nobody
Oh.
mentioned any
As we
laboratory
all know.
tests.
As we all know.
Dawn,
As we all
what are
know.
you referring to?
Hello.
I will say you are
said that
special,
it's a very
Don.
special.
Yeah, Earth is a very special situation compared to other pressure systems that we see on Earth.
What the bloody hell are you
Really?
on about? Earth is very
So then
special
how do you
compared
get
to
those
other
other
pressurized
pressure
systems
systems?
we see on Earth. That's the biggest load of nonsense I've ever heard you spout.
Have you ever
Yeah,
witnessed
because
another
on
pressure
Earth
system?
we observe gas pressure. Like you're saying that on Earth it's different, but on Earth every single example of gas pressure is within a container.
Yeah,
So what
that's,
are you
that's
talking
my
about?
point. That's my point. Yeah.
No, your point was that on Earth it's different, and it's not.
Yeah, Earth in general is a special situation compared to all the experiments we do
No.
on Earth in a lab.
No, it's not, Don.
Well, it seems to be because we keep going in the sky and we've never hit a container as yet.
You haven't. What do you mean we?
Oh my God.
When did you do this? We? You part of that, are you, Dawn? Did you
Yeah,
go
we
to space?
humans, you know
Hey,
what I
I'm
mean.
talking globe head mute button time, right? I didn't finish my sentence, didn't finish my question, but it's time for Dawn to respond mid-sentence, isn't it? Yeah? Gonna play out like this the entire show. This is why I get pissed off. Yeah?
Don't
You
pretend
said
know-
it doesn't
you
mean
know
when
what
I
mean.
pause to start my sentence you interrupted again that you start up again, Dawn. Right? This is going to be a one chance deal. If I get interrupted by you again, you're just going to piss off. Right. You said we. That includes you. So did you go to space?
To space? No, I haven't been to space.
Why are you saying we then? Who's this we? Not
As I said,
you.
20 seconds ago, humans. You know what I mean.
No.
Hello.
Dawn, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Okay, if I told you that I went to, I'm trying to, well, Nathan uses the Narnia example. I'm trying to come up with some type of fantasy type universe. I guess we could use the Alice in Wonderland place. If I told you that
Yeah.
I had been there,
Yeah.
would you believe me? Knowing that place can't possibly exist logically and scientifically.
Depends what
would
details you
believe
told me about Wonderland, I guess.
I can be very detailed. But that isn't what I'm saying.
If
Like
you literally
know,
told me the story that Alice went through, then no, I probably wouldn't believe you.
what difference does it make? I would have had to go through the same process.
And I can give you
if
some maths
said,
of how to get
I
there
went
as well,
to this
Dawn.
strange world and I saw a few things. I might believe you that you had a dream or an experience or something. But
No, not a dream. Me actually going there. Me saying, "Hey, I just went to the."
no,
I
I
just
wouldn't. I wouldn't believe you. No.
So you wouldn't believe me, right?
No.
So why would you believe that people claim that they have gone to a region that can't possibly exist? Why would
Well,
you
I don't
think
agree.
that?
I don't agree. It can't possibly exist. I've seen lots of evidence of them going to it.
No, you haven't.
Right.
it's not
So
No,
about
you
it,
haven't.
agreeing or
No, you
disagreeing.
haven't. You've just told us. Special pleading. The Earth I believe in is different. It's exceptional. It doesn't apply to the rules. No evidence. Just your fundamentalist religious
That's not quite
assertion
what I
about what
said.
Earth does and how. Was that Dawn talking over me? Just your fundamentalist religious assertion about what Earth does and how it is exceptional, doesn't meet the rules and standards of natural laws. Not that you've examined it. Not that you've been to the region we're saying doesn't exist. You're saying we've been. No, you haven't. I said this earlier. You haven't done anything. You're just taking the word of priests who say they've been to Narnia.
That's not
Yeah,
quite,
I have a
quite
question
what I
for
said.
Don.
I'm
I
talking
have a
about just
question.
going up and observing
Don?
no container. That's all I was talking about.
Don, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Right. So if somebody among us would tell you, like, yeah, we've been to outer space or something, and you said you wouldn't believe it. So why would you then, if an astronaut told you the same thing, do believe it? Why would you?
Right, just a quick shout out to the raw caveat. There was no gradient when the atmosphere was supposedly first forming. Therefore, the gas directly next to the vacuum of space. Not possible. Yeah.
That's an interesting point. I like that.
Yeah, it is. But I still want to answer to my question. Why would you believe
Need
astronauts and
photos
not
as well.
just
I don't
somebody
trust
else?
astronauts by default. Oh, and I don't trust them by default. I need pictures. I just trust the consensus that some people have been up in the sky really far.
Yeah, but they're the ones claiming that they've taken the pictures
Said
using
it. He
their
just
equipment.
trusts it, Arwin. He just trusts them. Trusts the wizards.
Yeah.
Trusts the priests. That's all this is based on. His trust, not evidence. Trust.
Watching One Strange Rock presented by Will Smith on Netflix, and it's got the
Yeah, but
astronaut.
why
in it, a few
why
things.
would you believe a NASA employee or a NASA website showing you a supposed picture
No,
from
that's not what he
space
said.
when somebody could like have a great video studio and make great CGI showing you and then tell you, oh man, look, I just made this satellite that took these pictures. Would you believe them if they
He said he
looked really
trusts
good?
Will Smith.
It's generally because I just believe it's possible to go up high in the sky, and I think humans are possible at doing amazing things. So
Yeah, but you
there's
base that
been no
belief on
evidence of
these
a route.
pictures.
There's been no evidence of we can't go there. There has been evidence of we are going there.
No,
Based
So
on the
I seem
pictures.
to believe
Hold on.
most of it.
Dawn, you've just said no evidence that we can't go there. The place isn't real. It defies two laws that I've detailed on
In
this
your
show.
opinion, yeah.
Oh, of course, that's Dawn's
not an
opportunity
opinion.
to talk. It violates natural laws. Your get around being, oh, Earth is exceptional. It doesn't apply. The rules don't apply to my fundy belief in what Earth is and what it does. What's that based on? Not evidence. Your belief. Your trust. That's what you've just told us.
Yeah, like you put a lot of emphasis on saying that I don't believe that that is true. It doesn't matter if you don't believe that it is true. It is true. It's a fact. You can't just defy a law of nature just because you think that we can go or that you believe that we can go.
Well, I just
Like-
disagree. That's your opinion.
It's not an opinion. Like
It's
if
an
I,
opinion. Most
How
of
is
the
it
world
that-
disagrees with it. They have a different
Well,
opinion.
because most of the world has a belief in space. Of course,
Well,
they
you
want
have
to
a
believe
belief
that
in
it
no
exists.
space, don't you?
No,
It's
it's
not
not
about-
a belief. Space can't
It's
exist.
not about-
That's what they say.
Don, it's not about belief in or no belief in. It's about evidence that belief in or no belief in
Yeah,
exists. We don't
That's what they
believe
say.
in
That's
space.
what they say.
Hello. I was talking. When we see evidence is falsified, we don't believe in it anymore. When we see evidence that's true, then we might believe in it. So give us your pictures that you believe are true. What pictures are you referring to that exist that can't exist because there is no space?
I wasn't actually even talking about space. I was talking about I believe humans go up and have never found a container. That's all I said. I didn't mention
And what do you
space once.
base that on? What do you base that on?
That's
You did
unusually
mention space. That's a
slithery of
lie.
you.
No, I
remember
didn't. Nathan
you.
jumped on the space thing straight away after I talked about going up and not finding a container.
Okay, so you admit that there is a container then?
No,
Just
I'm
because
saying we've
we
never
can't
found
get
one.
there
So
yet
why do you
doesn't
believe
mean
in
that
one?
So you were saying we go up and we haven't seen a container. What evidence do you have for that?
Because CNN didn't tell them, didn't tell him that we found one.
Don't gang up on him if he's been asked a question. While that's
just
happening,
said
I will just take
rockets.
the opportunity to shout people out there. So shout out to Jennifer Winterburn, who says, good work, Nathan. Thank you very much indeed, Jennifer, for the super chat. And James Mays, who says, oop. Right, while I'm trying out super chats, I must remember to mute that Skype line. Also, shout out to James Mays, who says, share the show, smash the super chat. Thank you very much indeed for your support, James Mays. Really appreciate it. And Jennifer also. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. So, talking about this, I have a project, the Dawn Balloon.
Tell us about it.
It's just, I'm going to conceptualize it, and then Flat Earth can pay for it and control it and design it. So, no global hands. No global hands. But it's going to look for the container. It's going to measure the gradient as far as we can. And then if we don't go high enough and we want to measure more of the gradient down to nothing, we can build Dawn Balloon 2. Once it's up there,
just
it's
inserted his presupposition.
P1100.
Dawn,
P1100
Dawn, don't start an example with a Dawn. Dawn, stop talking. You just inserted a presupposition.
Me, man.
You just inserted a presupposition. You said down to 0, didn't you, Dawn? So you're going to insert your fundy belief and your presupposition in this begging the question example. Then when I interrupt and point out that he's begged the question and assumed it drops to 0, he'll talk all over me. Yeah, Dawn, I'm stopping you because you've inserted a presupposition that it drops to 0. Yeah, you've not done a damn thing, but you already know it's going to drop to 0, don't you, Dawn?
Relative density already points out that it's impossible for balloons to get to the most upper part of the container.
I adjust my concept for your length. I won't say down to 0. I'll say we'll measure the gradient down as far as we can go. This is one of the aims of the Dawn Balloon. Anyway, as we're doing that, we're going to pan down the P1100 to Antarctica and check what shape it is, see if it's a continent or not. This is another mission of the Dawn Balloon.
Really? You're going to go to Antarctica and launch a balloon there? You think you can do that?
No, I'm not going to do it. It's my concept. Flat Earth's going to do it. Pay for it.
Whatever. Shout out to, is it Chaz Pounder? Dawn, explain gas nebula in vacuum attracting mass.
Why would I want to do that?
Because you believe in a sky vacuum, a violation of several laws of nature, based on what priests tell you and what you believe and trust, and then obfuscate when you get the answer. So based on your belief and your trust...
Believe in it doesn't mean I want to explain something to you that I don't fully understand.
Well, then don't try. Don't try and explain things to other people that you don't understand yourself. That is quite literally insanity. You're going to tell me that you're going to try to explain something you don't even understand yourself.
No, I'm telling you, I'm not going to try and explain that to you. No, I'm not.
There is no explanation. It's a violation of laws of nature. I've just explained that. The fact that you don't have a rebuttal...
I'm explain it to you.
Shut up while I talk! The fact that you don't have a rebuttal to it doesn't mean you can't explain it. It means it's a violation of several laws of nature. There is no rebuttal. It doesn't just mean you can't explain it. That you have trust in others who will eventually explain this violation of several... Shut up, Dawn. When I'm talking, I don't expect you to start talking with your global fundy mute button. Just because you don't have a...
mute button?
Yeah, there it is again. That's your mute button. While I start a sentence, you start talking over the top of me because what I say is very damaging. So fundy globeheads like yourself must mute what I say by talking over me and then later accusing me of muting them. So, Dawn, please don't interrupt the devastating rebuttal to your claim that just simply you can't explain it, when in reality it's a violation of several laws of nature, and there will be no rebuttal to that. It's just your fundy belief based on trust and based on belief in what priests have told you.
So, I'll consider you a maybe on the Dawn Balloon then.
No, I stopped you halfway through the example because you presupposed that the gas pressure would drop to 0. The very fundamental thing, your presupposition, your fundy belief, the bit you're trying to prove is presupposed in your bloody example, you bonehead.
I adjusted it for you. We'll measure it as far down as we can go.
And what will that prove? That we have a gradient? We already know that. So you're proving nothing, Dawn. You're an imbecile.
Well,
okay, well, we'll just aim for the container then. We'll prove that maybe we'll get to a vacuum, dude, and debunk your shit.
So what, you're going to insert your presupposition again? I know it needs to
maybe.
press.
Maybe, don't I?
Dawn, I know it needs to press. The measurement for it is PSI. Per inch.
Yeah, well,
that's not...
We're going to aim for
Dawn,
that.
That's not your opportunity to destroy the rebuttal again. Simply because you can't explain and have no rebuttal doesn't mean you need to interject when I do. That's what you're doing now. You're interjecting someone who's self-confessed, not understanding the example. But when I rebut your total failure. You feel that's your moment to speak. No, Dawn. It's already been proven. It's demonstratable by the measurement itself, PSI. It needs a per inch value to press on. So I don't need to exercise some demonstration in your fundamentalist belief that the Earth is exceptional and can violate that law. I don't need to do that. You, on the other hand, with a fundamentalist religious belief in a sky vacuum, absolutely need to demonstrate that that law can be violated in any way, shape or form. Your opening gambit being that I know it can't be violated, but Earth is special. No, Earth isn't special. Your fundy belief is just wrong.
Yeah, the Earth is not special. You are.
Alternative. Not accepted by the mainstream.
It is. It's a law of nature. It's absolutely accepted that you need to press on something to have gas pressure. That's not something that would just we flat. Oh, it's global mute button at the time, isn't it? Dawn's made a statement. I'm rebutting it. So it's time for Dawn to continue talking over the top of me. Because what I say is devastating to your fundy belief, isn't it, Dawn? So it's time to talk all over me. It's the globe mute button. Yeah, Dawn, I was in the middle of explaining that it is absolutely accepted by mainstream. This is a law of nature. The measurement itself demonstrates that you need something to press upon, a per inch value. Now, you're not going to demonstrate ever that a vacuum can be pressed upon and retain gas pressure. That's a fundy belief in something that violates the law of nature. Again, I'm just coming to my conclusion. Of course, it's Dawn's turn to speak over the conclusion. So no, Dawn, you're wrong. Mainstream understands that to have gas pressure, you need a container to press on. Your fundy belief violates that. That's all it is, a fundy belief.
Well, you've got a fundy belief against a fundy belief then, which makes you worse.
That's retarded. Imbecile.
Hey,
Not really.
Hey, Don, you got mainstream science saying you need a container. You got mainstream news saying, no, you don't.
Not for the
Why do you
atmosphere,
even
they
trust
don't.
Man, you know
Mainstream
what,
don't
Nathan? This guy
don't
cuts.
say that about the
This
It's
guy
the globe head mute button. He won't let you make your point, 10th man. Because, like me, what you say is devastating. So he needs to obfuscate it and talk, even though he's already confessed he knows basically nothing. But he's going to talk when the people who do start talking know what they're talking about. Oh, that means Dawn can interrupt and talk over the top of it so the point's never heard. So his fundy belief he can just hang on by the thread of his belief while he talks over the devastating bit that undoes it. Shut up, Dawn, he's talking.
I wonder if he has a mute button for himself or he's just not polite. I don't know. But your mainstream analogy goes against itself because mainstream science says you need a container, and your mainstream news, probably no relationship to mainstream science, says you don't. So how can you quote someone mainstream, whatever mainstream you listen to, holding two opposing systems?
I apologise for interrupting so often. It's because you guys lie and are wrong so often. But yeah, mainstream science doesn't say we need a container for the atmosphere. It doesn't.
You know, your last statement is very interesting. You guys lie, and so often. What is a lie that we've said?
Hold on, it's just made another claim, 10th man. He said mainstream science doesn't say you need a container. He's just basically ignored every word I've said. So, Dawn, acknowledge what I say, then tell me that they don't say this.
I said your beliefs about the law are
not
wrong
a belief
for most people.
It is not a belief. Stop projecting your fundy nature onto me.
No, I won't. That's the language I'm using. Your
But
belief
it's not a belief.
in the law is wrong. It's
Right, I
different to
don't
most
have a
people's
belief.
in the law.
I don't have a belief in
different
it.
to when you
Of
Google
course,
the law.
I'm never going to get to give him a fucking rebuttal because he'll just keep incessantly saying the same thing. Shut up! I do not have a belief. It is a law of nature, never to be violated. If it was ever to be violated, it would no longer be a law of nature. That's not a belief I hold. You, on the other hand, hold a belief that something does violate that. Something that you have never experienced, tasted, touched, gone to. The vacuum of the sky. You say, we have. No, you haven't. You only have a fundy belief in something that violates a law of nature. I don't believe in laws of nature. They're just laws. Holding true always. Simple. Not a belief, Dawn.
You need to research entropy properly.
Yeah, you've had your chance, Don. I mean, when you see the evidence, now you can believe the evidence. You're saying, I don't believe with evidence. I'm just going to believe there's open space and air could stay in. You have no evidence for your beliefs.
No, you're wrong, 10th man. He doesn't care about any of that. He just wants to see it on the news. When the
you're right.
when the tele tells him that it's not a ball, that's when he'll begin to believe it. He's stated that clearly a few times already.
Mainstream.
I don't have a TV.
So
Well, what's the difference?
when your friends see it on TV and then they tell you, "Oh, look what I saw on television," that's when you'll believe it, Don? Come on, bro. Now you're just sounding
I don't
crazy.
have a TV.
Right?
That's fine.
Doesn't matter. You're still waiting for mainstream, right? Doesn't matter if you have a TV, if you hear it on the radio, like War of the Worlds. Does not matter, right?
I'd still need the evidence to be on the TV. Yeah.
Don, you've been shown the evidence and you don't accept it. You clearly state that you just believe it. Who are you trying to fool right now? We're all listening to you. Do you not understand that?
I've never seen any conclusive flat Earth evidence.
Okay.
What?
Rolls by on screen every single show.
No, none of it's conclusive.
To explain entropy to us.
Good point.
I've
Go on
got
then,
no
Don.
idea about
Explain.
entropy,
You've said
so
I
I just
don't
know
understand it.
Nathan's
Go ahead.
wrong about it.
Go ahead and explain entropy.
Okay, Don.
I don't know anything about entropy.
So
then how do you know that he doesn't
say
know?
That you? How
Because I've studied Nathan for 2.5 years, and he's a liar in almost 95% of what he says.
Pause. I'm sorry. You just said you have no idea what the hell entropy is, yet you know Nathan is wrong about it.
I know what it is, but I don't know anything about it enough to explain it.
That's no.
Yes.
That's not how it works. You can't just say, well, like, if you have no idea what it is, how can you accuse somebody of being incorrect about it?
Because I know Nathan quite well.
No, that's not. No, that's your biased opinion of him.
Yep.
You
That's
don't
an ad hom.
You can't use a.
I'm the observer.
No, that's an ad hom.
Observer.
Yeah, pure ad hominem.
Yep.
Yeah. That's you're literally just attacking him and not his argument.
Everyone agrees.
You're saying, well, I know him.
Not just
so
ad
that's
hominem.
completely,
Also, ad hominem appealed coupled with
wrong about
an ad hominem appealed to the consensus.
He knows it doesn't.
And now he won't shut up.
You don't even know what entropy
Dawn,
is.
all you've done is ad
to
hominem and then appealed to consensus. So everybody knows it.
That's another fallacy.
Yeah, two fallacies, one breath.
You're gonna agree with with everything that the ballers say, but because you don't like Nathan, you think that everything he says is a lie.
I don't agree with everything the ballers say at all.
Okay.
Well, let's get back on topic.
Accusing Nathan of
let's
lying
get back
about
on topic.
A container. That's all I'm
back
doing.
on topic.
But you don't even.
Oh my God.
You don't know anything about entropy, nor have you studied the second law of thermodynamics or any. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't just say that he's wrong and you haven't studied it.
Yeah, I'm saying he's wrong.
You have to study it in order to say
No, I just know he's wrong.
Okay, Don.
I've witnessed his behavior enough, and I've heard enough other things about those things.
Yeah, more at home.
That's oh my God, I can't.
What does his behavior have to do with his arguments?
Just
nothing.
He's wrong.
Nothing. Doesn't have anything to do with my argument.
Yeah, he's definitely wrong.
He's not addressed a word I've said.
So
he's not addressed anything I've said.
Okay.
At all. So all he's
with
done.
No evidence to support your assertion towards him.
Hey,
you're
Jessica,
just say he's wrong
can you hear somebody
But
talking
we've never found
in
a
your
container, have
headphones?
we? And he's still
Hold on,
saying it.
Don. Jessica, do you hear Nathan talking?
I'm sorry?
Jessica. Jessica.
Yes.
Do you hear Nathan talking in your headphones while you're talking?
I didn't hear him because I was going back and forth with Don. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you need to get a better headset because he's talking, then you're stepping all over him. And then we got Dawn coming in. It's a shit show, in other words.
So Dawn, I'd like you to actually rebut something I've said. You've said everything I've said about entropy is wrong. Okay? So I've described needing a per inch value, PSI. So firstly, what's PSI? Do you know what that means, Dawn?
I just know you're wrong, dude.
That's not an answer. Do you know what PSI stands for? I think you're wrong. That's a question, Dawn. There's no incorrect or correct. It's whether or not you know the answer.
I'm not here to be quizzed by you, dude.
Well, then what are you here for? Just to express your fundy
I'm here
belief?
to wind
Yeah, we know.
you up because you lie every day to people.
Well, we're trying to establish that. You've claimed that based on entropy, and now I'm taking you step by step through my claims that you've ignored and have no rebuttal to, but just talk over every single time I get to the conclusion. So we're trying to establish whether or not what you claim is accurate, even though it's just an ad hominem attack, and it's going to be based on what I state about pressure. Now, PSI is a measurement of pressure. I want to know, first of all, if you know what that means.
Proof of you being a liar is still uploaded to your channel.
It's not,
hundreds and hundreds
it's not
and hundreds of
the
hours.
topic. This is just an ad hominem, Don. It's your last chance. Then if you've literally got nothing to offer, you're not welcome here. If you're just here to attack me personally, I'm here talking about the shape of the Earth and the fundamentalist religious assertion that the sky is a vacuum and that we have gas pressure next to that vacuum without it dissipating. Now, what I'm saying is gas pressure needs to press on something, and the measurement for how much it presses is PSI. Now, I want you to undo that statement of fact and tie it to me lying. Go. Give you 5 seconds, Dawn, then you're useless to me and I'll just cut you out of the conversation. 4, 3.
See you later, liar.
Yep, you've got nothing to offer. Literally zero. Nothing to offer. Just like Brenda yesterday. Seems we opened the show with the dumbest, most useless globe heads that the argument has to offer to open with. You're a liar. When you state laws of nature, you're just wrong, because I don't understand them. This is the level that we have to defend the globe lie. Amazing. Who else is in Discord?
I'm surprised you put up with it as long as you did. I mean, if you listen to the Window Licker show, anyone that overtalks Jose, he just kicks them immediately. Let's adopt the ballers' ideals.
Nah.
No, I don't mind Dawn taking it to its conclusion, which is to admit entirely that he knows nothing about anything, but will claim I'm lying and don't know anything, based on zero education in the subject that he's discussing, and then continually ad hom and talk over me when I rebut any claim he makes, or presupposition he inserts into a demonstration that he hasn't made yet, or claims that he's been to space with the word we.
Yeah, but they used a pathetically feeble belly laugher excuse. We won't go over to Nathan's because he mutes us. Well, you got the window lickers over there, Jose. He kicks them out. He just kicks them. There's no mute, just kick them. Yeah, I don't mute. Yeah, you kick them. Right? Kind of standard is that? Of course, we all know why you guys don't come in here. Because you get your asses handed to you. Everyone knows it. Right? Clowns.
Got to be some brave souls in Discord. There's people in there.
Yeah, well, come off mute and share your pain.
Yeah, I've got tissues for you guys.
Oh, that was good, John.
Right, everyone in Discord's off mute.
Waiting.
Globers.
Don was the only risk kicker today, it seems.
Hi guys, I just got access back. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, much better.
I apologize for that earlier.
No, it's all right. I apologise for getting so angry.
So what I wanted to bring up is the fact that the second law of thermodynamics does not state that you cannot have gas pressure next to a vacuum.
It's a logical consequence of the law. Duh.
So the law at its core talks about what direction order goes. It goes from order to disorder.
Wrong.
There is
wrong. From the entropysite.org. This view was broached partially in a previous article that showed disorder was outmoded and misleading as a descriptor of entropy. That was years ago. I mean, you gotta start keeping up on your continuing education credits.
I am indeed keeping up on my continuing education.
Yeah, it doesn't seem
order and
so.
Disorder, you're right. There are some problems with those phrases, right?
Why did you say it then?
There's nothing
Sorry,
in the law.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, you got a problem. Yeah.
Why did you say it then?
Yeah, because there are a lot of other words that would likely not give the picture of what entropy is actually trying to.
That's very interesting. So why did you use
it?
So why did you use those words then, given that they're incorrect and there are better words that you could have used? Why did you use those words then?
Because you guys are pigeonholing this particular law of thermodynamics into a gas pressure issue when it has an application in gas pressure, but doesn't specifically prohibit gas pressure next to a vacuum or in a vacuum.
Oh yes, it does, sir. From the entropysite.org. Hold on a second. Oh, good.
I was just going to say, John, he literally just addressed this literally 2 moments ago. It seems you have the same affliction as Dawn, that literally you don't listen to what's just been said to you only moments earlier, only to then reassert the exact same nonsense, having completely ignored the rebuttal. So, yes, now I've made that clear that this will be the second time this has been stated to you. I'd prefer you don't whistle past it a third time. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, gas expansion into a vacuum, mixing of ideal gases or liquids, diffusion, effusion, colligative effects, and osmosis each fundamentally involves an increase in entropy due to increased dispersion of energy with no change in total energy in case of ideal substances, due to a greater number of microstates for the particular system involved. You fall down, go boom boom.
So here's your problem. The idea
No,
with a
that's
system
your problem.
involved. No, hold up. The idea of a system involved, especially with each of those instances of the second law of thermodynamics that you just mentioned, are in closed systems. Right?
Oh, really? So what you're trying to tell me is the second law only applies to closed systems.
I wasn't finished talking.
Oh, yes, you are.
On in a closed
You're finished
system.
talking.
Okay.
Yeah,
hey, no,
you're finished talking. So
are
you saying that the second law only applies to closed systems? Is that what you're saying?
Excuse me, I couldn't hear you. You were talking over me.
Yeah, that's right. You made a statement that it involves closed systems. So does the second law only apply to closed systems?
No, what I said with those descriptors that you gave involved closed systems.
No, it didn't. It didn't say anything about closed systems.
Read it again.
Gas expansion into a vacuum, a mixing of ideal gases or liquids, diffusion, effusion, colligative effects, and osmosis each fundamentally involves an increase in entropy due to increased dispersion of energy with no change in total energy in the case of ideal substances due to a greater number of microstates for the particular system involved.
What's a microstate for the particular?
Sorry, he didn't mention closed systems. Why are you dancing around?
Oh, I'm not dancing around. I'm actually getting right.
So we'll go back to your assertion. He asked you specifically why you would assert in your statement that it's only in reference to closed systems. Your rebuttal being, you said closed systems. No, he didn't. So let's not move past this.
Yes, microstates in a system refers to the fact that you have isolated a specific instance that you are measuring the entropy for. That, in colloquial language, is called a closed system.
That's bullshit. That doesn't say closed systems. What is microstate? What are we going to define adjectives here? That was
That's a
total
noun.
gibberish. Gibberish.
If you're going to define a microstate in a system, you have to close that system off either metrically or physically.
You have to close that system up either metrically or... Right. So do you live in a closed system?
No.
You don't live in a closed system. Does the second law apply to open systems?
Yes, sir.
So you've got no
Then
point.
why? Oh my God.
You've got absolutely no point there.
Thanks. This is brilliant.
No, this you guys like don't realize the hole that you're digging for yourself right now.
Nah,
So
you just dug your own hole,
No,
buddy.
this is another
it's
classic.
It's
Another
actually
one for the books, Nathan.
So here's the deal. If you have a closed system that you're trying to measure entropy for, you either do that metrically or physically, right? You actually you end up measuring the work that happens within that particular space. You guys are trying to apply that, right? In saying that because there is a vacuum above, or there's supposed to be.
No, that's not what we're saying.
Above this gradient.
Stop. Nobody here says because there is a vacuum. Nobody says that. That's your fundamentalist religious belief. Don't claim that we are stating because there is a vacuum when that's the antithesis. When that is the antithesis of what we are stating.
Yes,
we are stating there can't
apologies.
possibly be a vacuum because of these laws of nature. We don't start with your fundy presupposition, you stupid idiot.
Yeah, my apologies. I'll take that back. Let me say what I mean then. You guys are asserting that there can be no atmosphere with a vacuum, right, outside of that pressure, at the end of that pressure gradient.
No,
That's your
outside. No. When do we say outside of it? Next to it. Not outside of it, my friend. That would imply a closed system.
No.
Excuse me, I'm still talking. That would imply a closed system and outside of it, a vacuum. No, mate. In your fundy religious sphere world, you've got gas pressure right next to the vacuum, not outside of it. So no, we don't claim that either. You seem to want to misrepresent what we claim. We're not claiming anything. We just state a natural law that dictates the gas would fill the space.
That law does not dictate that gas would fill that space.
Well, why does the guy why does the guy at MIT teach that then?
Because he's talking about a closed system.
Sorry, so again, we're back to you asserting that the second law of thermodynamics does not apply to an open system.
No, but that it's
so who cares? It makes no difference if it applies equally to both. So this little straw man's not going to fly, is it, Sunshine?
It's not a straw man. So what I'm
it is because it applies equally. It is a straw man because you claiming that his demonstration is a demonstration in a closed system would imply that somehow it makes a difference when it's an open system, which your fundamentalist sphere world is, when in reality it makes no difference. It applies equally to both open and closed systems, as you've conceded. So your straw man that Mr. MIT, when dictating to his audience that entropy would dictate that the gas would fill the available space, then no, it makes no difference that that's an example in a closed system. It equally applies to your fundy open system, and the gas would fill the space. Entropy applies equally to both open and closed. And in this instance, your fundy religious belief in an open world is undone by a law of nature. The gas would fill the space.
The gas would not fill the space, okay, especially given the example that you're talking about, juxtaposed, right, with what we actually say the vacuum of space is, particularly a vacuum that grades down into the pressure that we experience on
wait a second. That's a red herring fallacy. Which comes first, gas pressure or gas pressure gradients?
No, he's basically claiming the outer gas universe now. Okay, look, if the gradient here on Earth is pretty measurable over a short distance, well, a gradient only really can set in within the entirety of the container. So if the gradient here on Earth is that small, then if it's going to be in the entire outer space, we shouldn't see that type of gradient. That doesn't make any logical sense.
No
Which
difference.
comes first?
Yeah, that's definitely not true. Being especially given the fact that like it's not a very small difference. I mean, you go to 30,000 feet.
What?
And we experience
I already said this is a
vastly
red
different.
herring
Hold on,
fallacy.
John.
Approaching the
Hold on,
entire
we're going
outer
off the
space?
rails. Hold on, Arwen. Ask your question again, John. Let's see if he gives an answer.
I said it's a red herring fallacy again for the 20,585th time. Red herring fallacy. Our question is, how do you have gas pressure without a container? Now, which comes first, gas pressure or gas pressure gradients? In other words, which comes first, X or delta X?
I'm not sure exactly how you're contextualizing this question. I don't understand.
Well, let me rephrase it. Which comes first, gas pressure or gas pressure, wait for it, gradient? Given that there was a massive pause between number 1 and number 1.1, you can safely assert that gas pressure comes before a gas pressure gradient, and the necessary antecedent for gas pressure is a container.
Not true.
Well, demonstrate that then. Demonstrate gas pressure without a container. Go.
Walk outside.
Sorry, walk outside. I experience gas pressure. So what you're? Hold on, don't belly laugh. You're saying by walking outside, what? I experience pressure.
You
gas
will start
pressure.
feeling. Yep, you'll experience pressure exactly.
Yeah, and the necessary antecedent is still a container. So I can imply when I experience gas pressure, i.e. I don't go out and experience 10 to the minus 17 torr vacuum because entropy's taken effect. I can assert by going outside that we have a container. The gas is pressing on something. It has to, otherwise it wouldn't be pressure. So no, going outside backs my argument, not yours. Experiencing gas pressure still requires the necessary antecedent of a container. So no, that's not a demonstration of gas pressure without a container. That's a demonstration of your fundamentalist religious belief that the sky is a vacuum.
Yeah, it's circular too, because that's what he's attempting to prove.
Right. So beyond your fundamentalist religious belief in a sky vacuum, can you demonstrate a violation of the second law of thermodynamics by way of gas pressure without a container?
I've already demonstrated that it is not a violation of the second law of thermodynamics to have gas pressure without.
Really? Where'd you demonstrate that?
No worries. Guys, why is it getting rumpus?
And it's not even application.
Right, my friend, I'm trying to rebut what you've said. You have stated that it's not a violation of the second law of thermodynamics to have gas pressure without a container. Now let's say, just for the sake of this argument, I concede this. Now show me that that's true.
What type of proof or experiment would you like?
I want a demonstration of gas pressure without a container.
Give me some parameters for the experience you would like.
No worries. Gas at pressure without something to press on. How clear can this not be?
So you want me to take you to a place that has vacuum, like a complete vacuum. There's nothing, right? And show you how there can be gas pressure there.
I don't give a crap what you do to back your fundamentalist religious assertion that a violation of the second law of thermodynamics is possible by demonstration. In other words, I want you to show me a tyre pressure without the tyre. Like somebody going into a garage and finish. You wanted qualification, didn't you? You asked. You played dumb. Now I'm explaining and you're interrupting. That's why you're dumb. Ignorant. Talking when I am. So, for example, you go into a garage and you say, there those tyres are about $100 each. That's quite expensive. The bit I really need is the gas pressure, but without the container. So can you put that air hose round the rim of my wheel and not give me the tyre to press on? So, in summary, Fundy Sky Vacuum Religious Believer, I would like a demonstration of gas pressure, the thing that expands in all directions to fill the container it's in, but without it expanding in all directions as per the second law of thermodynamics, and pressing on nothing, just suspended in mid-air or wherever you choose without the necessary antecedent of something to press upon. Simple. Go.
Sure. So the tire descriptor, of course, that's ridiculous. Can't do that, right? But with that,
Sorry, you can't do that. Sorry, did you just say you can't do that?
Yeah. Hold up.
I didn't hear what you said. I think I heard you say you can't do that. You've got a rubbish mic still, so I need to interrupt to find out what you actually said. See if you've conceded, rather than continually talking while I try and gain clarity from the Fundy who doesn't want his point to be clear because he hasn't got a point to make. So until you shut up and give clarity, did you say that's not possible?
With the tire pressure example.
Any example. That was just an example. Any that you choose.
But what I said is in the second one, before you interrupted me, okay, is in the second example, with the parameters that you gave, I can actually create a vacuum in a chamber, right? So it can simulate an open environment, and I can create pressure.
You said it's in a chamber.
I was just about to say, I waited for his pause so I wasn't seen as being rude. Is a chamber a container?
So here's the thing. I heard you do this.
Sorry, you didn't answer me. Don't say here's the thing. Just answer yes or no, Fundy, while you talk all over me. Yeah, this is the point that your example's getting obliterated. So don't interrupt. You just need to give a simple, concise answer without interruption like you're doing right now. So yes or no, is a chamber a container? Yes or no?
According to the parameters you just gave me, no.
So a chamber, according to the parameters I said, not a container, is not a container. You believe a chamber is not a container. I'm finished. Excuse me, I'm summarising the situation. Stop talking over me. I'm summarising the situation. Sorry, you don't need to rumpus the demolition of your absolutely ludicrous assertion. I'll just point out to the audience that it is absolutely a ludicrous assertion to say that a chamber is not a container, when I absolutely assure you that a chamber has got walls to press upon and absolutely and without question meets the parameters of a container. So, no, you are wrong. A chamber is a container. You are just clearly stupid to make such a ridiculous assertion based on your total failure to demonstrate gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container. And with that, I'll say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of today's debating live panel. If you're watching this on Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay tuned if you're watching on Nathan Oakley.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!